Hello everyone, it's Mike here. Welcome to the 33rd episode of High Heels of Bitcoin series. My beautiful guest today is Rachel Wolfson, and I don't think I have to introduce her because I'm pretty sure everyone knows her from CoinTelegraph. If you want to find out what bikinis and blockchain have in common, just watch our interview. Enjoy!
Hi Mike, it's Rachel. How are you?
Well, pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thanks for having me on your show.
I'm honored to have you here.
Oh, thanks. Well, it's good to be here.
So let's start with a few words about yourself. How can you describe yourself and your background?
Sure. So I am a reporter for CoinTelegraph, as most people know. And I also host a podcast, which is part of the Bad Crypto Show. So I do that. And I've been writing about the space since 2017. My journey kind of started with, let's see here, I was writing for Huffington Post in 2017. And I started initially writing about the blockchain space then. And then at the end of 2017, when Bitcoin, was about to reach its all-time high, I went to my first crypto conference in Hong Kong and then started writing for Bitcoin magazine as a staff writer. And then from there, I eventually became a contributor to Forbes, writing about blockchain and crypto. And here I am today, reporting for CoinTelegraph, basically full-time for them, and also doing the podcast every now and then with the Bad Crypto guys. So that's kind of a little bit about myself and my journey.
Yeah, so CoinTelegraph, I think it's one of the best, or maybe the best news website. I always use your articles, and I think in my latest crypto news, or 2 days ago, I used some article you wrote. So it was pretty good. I'm pretty impressed with the quality. But I would like to ask you, how did your adventure start? You mentioned 2017, but was it like someone told you about the Bitcoin, or maybe it was like you found it over the internet?
Yeah, so actually a friend of mine told me about blockchain and the technology, and she told me about a company. I'm based in the Bay Area, so a lot of people here know about the new technologies, the emerging technologies. So she told me about a company using blockchain for supply chain management. And I thought it was really, really interesting. I read their white paper. This was mid-2017, June 2017. And I was like, wow, this is really interesting. It's a new emerging concept. I'm going to write a brief article for Huffington Post, see what happens. So I published that article on Huffington Post at the time, and it just kind of blew up. People were really interested in blockchain. They were really interested in cryptocurrency. So I just decided to continue writing about it. And with Huffington Post, I was initially writing about like random things like dating in San Francisco and things like that, just like fun, like fitness stuff. But then I really got into blockchain, and I was really happy because the articles were really getting good traction. So I became hooked. Then. And then, like I said, I went to my first conference in 2017 in Hong Kong, right before Bitcoin hit its all-time high, and connected with the Bitcoin magazine people there. And it just kind of took off from there.
So basically, you're a podcast host, you're a speaker. Do you like talking to people? Do you like being on the stage?
Yeah, I mean, I do actually. I'm a very social person. I mean, definitely as a writer, like I need a lot of time to myself to focus on my work. And when I am writing, I usually have my phone off. I usually, I'm not active and social then. But yeah, I mean, I really enjoy the conferences. I enjoy speaking with people. And right now that we're in, coronavirus lockdowns and all that, and we can't travel, it's been really hard because I do enjoy traveling internationally and going to those conferences and making those face-to-face connections. I think that as a reporter, it is important to have that social aspect when you need to have it, to grow your network, to make the connections. And that helps me better understand the technology, meeting people in person and talking to them. I came into the space not knowing anything about it in 2017. And, 3 years later, I feel like I know a lot more than most people. So
So are you one of those shy females? Because when I talk to the ladies, they are mostly shy. They know a lot, but they don't think they know enough. So are you one of those, or maybe you are fully open and you know about your strengths and your knowledge?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm a shy individual. I mean, like I said, I've been going to these crypto and blockchain conferences, and I usually moderate these panels. So, you know, I'm not really shy. I'm pretty open and outgoing in that sense. But in terms of, you know, knowledge and all that, I think, you know, I definitely know more than the average person about crypto and blockchain. But I wouldn't say that I am an industry expert in this space. I mean, I do know a lot, but the experts are the people that I interview for my articles. Those are the people that teach me what I need to know about the space. Like I said, I came into the space not knowing anything. I'm not a technical person. I'm not a developer. So those people teach me. And so I'd say that they really are the experts in the space. I'm just kind of the one writing down their stories.
Yes, but this space needs all kinds of people. We don't all have to be programmers. We don't all have to be developers, of course. I am a software engineer myself. This is my background, but I never did it. I do other things. But so it's easier for me, but we need many different types of people. So it's not like, okay, if you are a programmer, if you are a developer, then okay. And if you are not, then you are not needed. No, that's not true. And about this average person, to be honest, sometimes I think that every average person in the crypto space asks me questions like, what is better, Bitcoin or blockchain?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, those questions are just kind of like, I don't know, those questions to me are a bit annoying. It's like, I wouldn't say anything is better, but it's all kind of connected. But for me, my focus really is blockchain as a technology, specifically how it relates to enterprises. But, you know, I'm all for Bitcoin also. I think Bitcoin is great, and I'm a fan of Bitcoin, but I think blockchain is really revolutionary. But blockchain is obviously a big component of Bitcoin, so.
Yeah, basically, blockchain doesn't need Bitcoin. Bitcoin needs blockchain because it's completely different things. People don't understand it. But you work in CoinTelegraph. To be honest, in crypto space, CoinTelegraph is considered like, I don't know, Microsoft in the software space. So can you tell me more about your work here?
Yeah, sure. So I came to CoinTelegraph from Forbes, and with Forbes, my focus was really enterprise blockchain. And when I came to CoinTelegraph, they knew that, and that's kind of my beat. Although now that I am writing for CoinTelegraph, I would say that I've definitely started focusing more on the cryptocurrency side of things. So it's been kind of like a combination, the enterprise blockchain stuff, but also the crypto stuff. I mean, yeah, CoinTelegraph is a leading publication for both topics, but it's good that they're getting people in the industry that have knowledge on both of those things. And I've learned so much about cryptocurrency since I've joined CoinTelegraph, because like I said, my articles are kind of a mixture of the two topics now, the enterprise blockchain and crypto. So, so yeah.
I have another question for you.
Sure.
Because I ask many women about this thing. How do you feel as a woman in, to be honest, this space is dominated by men. There are more and more women coming to this space, but does it bother you? Do you feel, for example, that men are sexist, or do you feel fully professional and you have no bad experiences at all?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, definitely the space, the majority of people in the space are male, and that's very apparent and obvious, especially when you go to the conferences. I mean, there's not a lot of females in the space. For me, I actually think it's an advantage because it's something that makes me unique. It's like, you know, here I am, I'm a female in this male-dominated industry, and I'm writing really high-level articles about the industry. So I think for me, it's very unique to be a woman journalist in this space that understands the industry in a way that the articles are very high level. So I like that. I think that there should be more women in the space, but I think that we're seeing that now as blockchain and crypto, you know, becomes more well known. I think a lot of people are starting to get into the space, including women. So, but like I said, I mean, I think it's unique. I think it's an advantage. And I do have a lot of friends in the space that are women and men. But for sure, it's still dominated by men. But I never had a bad experience in terms of someone, you know, being sexist towards me or even sexual harassment. I've never really had that experience. I think it's because, you know, I really know how to handle myself, and I'm very composed. And so I don't think, you know, people are going to take advantage of me in any way, if that makes sense. So I've had a good experience overall. I haven't experienced anything where someone has said anything rude about me, or, you know, oh, she doesn't know what she's talking about. I've only had positive things.
Maybe because you're a very confident person, you have confidence in your abilities. We are like talking like 15 or 20 minutes, and I already feel that you are a very confident and very competent person. So maybe that's why men don't try to take advantage of you. So yeah, but that's good. That's good. So we should all be professional, and our gender shouldn't matter at all. But you know, I think, let me tell you, I think there is one big difference between men and women in this space. Because, for example, women are like, what is this technology about? Let me learn more about it. And men are more like, either they are maximalists, for example, they are very technical and then only care about how good this code is or things like, or maybe the other part of the men are like, all right, this one guy on YouTube told me to buy this and this coin, and I will do it because I will earn millions. So I think men are more crazy, I should say.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, you know, I guess it depends on the type of person, obviously, and why they're in the space to begin with. I mean, like I said, for me, I've been writing about tech for 10 years. I think that's really important to mention here, because I've written about big data, Internet of Things, AI, and blockchain in 2017 just seemed like the next natural emerging technology to write about. I didn't enter the space as someone who had Bitcoin or any cryptocurrency at the time. I didn't own crypto at the time, and I didn't really care much about it at the time. I was just like, blockchain is a technology. It's being used by enterprises to make data more transparent, easily traceable, immutable. It's all reported on this ledger. It was purely the tech side of things. So I was never that person who was like, ooh, I'm going to get into the crypto space because I want to get rich and then, you know, buy a Lambo and fly to Miami and all this stuff, right? Like the typical blockchain bros and stuff. But I mean, you see that a lot. You see it a lot at the conferences you go, and everybody's super flashy and this and that. But for me, I'm just there because I think it's an emerging technology that's going to change the world. Yeah. I mean, not everyone is flashy, but a lot of people are.
Yeah, I completely agree. In Poland, let me try to translate it. We have a special sickness for all those who want to buy a Lambo. We call it Lamboriosis. So when someone talks about Lambo, when will I learn? So yeah, we call him. Okay. So you said something like, I didn't have crypto at that time. So now I understand that you invest in cryptocurrencies and you own cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, well, I mean, so in 2017, actually for quite a while, I did not own any crypto. And I think a lot of people thought that I owned, you know, this massive amount of crypto because I've had, you know, my SIM hacked and all this bullshit happen that people, you know, in the crypto industry deal with, where, you know, they can't access their phone because it's been hacked, their SIM. Has that happened to you? Well,
to be honest, no, it never happened to me. I think the Poland is quite different because it's not so easy to get your SIM card, because when you go to an operator, you have to verify yourself. I don't think they will give you this card without some professional verification. So I think there were some SIM swapping attacks in Poland, but they are not common.
Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, I think that they were common and still are happening here in the United States, at least. So that happened to me. Now I do own a little bit of crypto. Basically, that started when I started writing for CoinTelegraph. So it's all pretty recent. Like I said, my focus was blockchain. When I came on with CoinTelegraph, it really started branching out into the cryptocurrency side of things. That's when I started owning crypto. And like I said, I think Bitcoin is great. I constantly watch the price go up and down, and when it's up, you know, my days are better than when it's down. So yeah, those are my thoughts on that.
So do you check your phone for the prices every 10 minutes?
Not well, you know, it used to be when I first started with the whole cryptocurrency thing and investing, like, yeah, it was every 10 minutes. It was like, oh, and you know, it was very, and I had a lot of anxiety about it. I was like, no, you know, the price is down, then it's up. But now it's like I'm checking every morning, maybe before I go to bed. I remember when the price of Bitcoin hit its low. When was it? In March of this year, when all the coronavirus and the stock market started crashing, and then Bitcoin reached like what, 3,000 something. That was pretty shitty, and I got really anxious and I was freaking out. But now things seem to be a lot better. Well,
I remember January 2019, and it was like, I've been live streaming. I live stream every Sunday, and it's called Crypto Sunday with Mike. And I talk to people, and I know their feelings. And when it was January or even February, when Bitcoin hit the bottom, it was like, it's over. Don't invest. Mining is not profitable anymore. It will collapse, and it is the end, and things like that. And then 4 months later, when it's all started rising, it was like, all right, I think I will buy something. They didn't buy at 3,000 because they thought it will be 2K, 1K, or even less. But when Bitcoin reached 10K, yes, this is the time. I have to buy it now. This is my hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Some people never learn.
Yeah, it's interesting because like even when Bitcoin hit its low this year in March, I think it was, and everybody was freaking out and selling and, you know, whatever, like, oh, Bitcoin is going to hit zero. I never thought that. And I still don't think that. I don't think Bitcoin is ever going to hit zero. And maybe it's because I've met more than a few times. And I know people like Tim Draper, who is, you know, so enthusiastic when it comes to Bitcoin. And you speak to people like that, like Tim Draper in person, you see his enthusiasm. And you see his previous investments. I mean, this guy really knows his stuff, and he's so bullish on Bitcoin. So it's like, why would I ever, you know, Bitcoin isn't going to hit zero. Why would I sell it when it's, you know, like, it's just, I want to hold on to Bitcoin is what I'm saying. I believe in it. I don't think it's going to hit zero. And I think it's because I've surrounded myself and I've spoken with people that believe in it also.
Yeah, and this situation was completely different because we have pandemics. Some people claim we still have. Bitcoin was and cryptocurrencies were created to fight financial crisis, not the not the pandemics. So it was completely new. It was something new. There were other in our life, but not at the scale. No, I don't think anyone locked us down in like, I don't know, 100 years? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and it's also interesting because when the stock market started crashing because of the whole coronavirus thing, people like my dad, for instance, and people that don't really invest or care about cryptocurrency started paying attention to Bitcoin. My dad was like, oh, wow, you know, Bitcoin. He was asking me about the price every day. He expressed interest in having Bitcoin for the first time. And this is someone who never, you know, would have thought twice about Bitcoin. I mean, when he first heard of it, he thought it was a joke, you know, but now he's like, yeah, Bitcoin. And he has all of my crypto t-shirts that I got from the conferences. He wears them every day in Dallas, Texas. He looks like the biggest Bitcoin and blockchain person ever. And now he finally is like, yeah, Bitcoin, let's do this.
My father is pretty similar because I gave him some Bitcoins few months ago, I think it was, and now he is considering buying himself. So So yeah, and this crisis opened the eyes of the people, because when Fed started printing these trillions of dollars, some people started thinking, how can they print so much money? And there was some Fed chairman who told, we have unlimited amount of money. And then people opened their eyes and said, if they have unlimited amount of money, why do they even try to tax us? So.
Yeah, today's financial system is just crazy. I think like cryptocurrency is really shedding light on this whole new world. And I'm so happy that I got into this space, not only because the blockchain element that drew me there, but because crypto has so much potential. I mean, it's insane. People that don't know about cryptocurrency and its potential, I mean, they really should, because it's this whole new world that's opening many opportunities for people, especially in developing countries. So yeah.
Yeah, sometimes the easiest way to convince someone that cryptocurrencies are the future is not to show them the Bitcoin, not to show them how great it is, but to tell them about this fractional reserve system, about this whole financial system corruption. And it opens their eyes, because when I say someone, imagine when you try to take your money out of the bank. In Poland, we have something called bank protection system or things like that. So if you have like under 100,000 euro, then you're safe. Then this system will protect you. But if you have more and the bank bankrupts, then they are gone. If you have over 100,000 euro, then you won't get your money back. So, and it's like if 10% of all people wanted to get their money from bank wouldn't have all those money. So you would have to wait. And people don't know that. Some people still think that in the United States, dollar is still backed by gold.
Right. Well, I think there's another important element that has caught my interest lately, and I wonder about your thoughts on it. There are now these debit cards that are making crypto more accessible and easier to use, because I also think that crypto will go mainstream when people like my mom and like my dad can easily take, a debit card and spend their cryptocurrency in ways that they do like with fiat, with dollars, right? So for instance, like Uphold is a really good example of that. They've got a great debit card. BitPay just released their new, I wouldn't call it a debit card, I forget the term that they use, but similar to a debit card. So these companies are really ramping up ways to make crypto accessible to the mainstream, which I think is great. I mean, like I said, I like to hold on to the Bitcoin, but if for some reason I ever did need to use it, there are options that make it quite simple.
Yeah, there are also, I think there is Wirex, and there is also crypto.com one, and you can use them, you can get cash back, and you can even lend your money, because all those lending platforms. And for example, if you want to put your money in the bank, in Europe, we start to have negative interest rates. For example, you have to pay the bank to store your money. For now, it's only for the very, very rich people, over 1 million euro or things like that. But it is coming. I think we will have to pay for every bank account, but also for storing our money. I think it was in the radio news today. They told that banks they have lost like 80% of all profit because of COVID, and now they want to increase all those fees. And for example, if you want to fast transfer your money, for example, so it goes like under 5 minutes, you have to pay like $5 or maybe even $10. So yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah. So I mean, cryptocurrency seems to be solving all of those issues. And it's just, and another thing is, like when I was traveling, for instance, you have to go and you have to take out money in these different currencies. I mean, that's annoying also. So that's another issue that cryptocurrency can definitely solve, just one universal currency that can be used anywhere.
Yeah, basically you have to remember 12 words. If you remember 12 words, you can go to any civilized country, go to with your phone, connect to the internet, download application, restore your wallet, and then you can go to Bitcoin ATM and withdraw some fiats. So yeah, it's it's very easy. All right, let me ask you about this COVID-19 situation, because you've mentioned you live in the Bay Area, and to be honest, I have seen one of your Insta stories where you have mentioned something like there were people running in masks. So, and then I was like, what?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I don't know how it is in Poland. I mean, even today, for instance, it's like I run. I'm a big fitness person. So on top of writing about blockchain and crypto, all I do really is like work out. That's really important to me. And so I go on runs. And so I've been running outside lately without a mask because I'm not going to wear a mask when I exercise. I have to breathe. But then I'm passing all these people and it's pretty hot out and they're wearing masks. And I'm thinking like, this is insane. How can you breathe? I mean, and I get it. Like everybody has a different opinion on the matter. For me, I'm young, I'm healthy, I'm not high risk, I guess. But yeah, and also they just passed a law yesterday where everyone in California has to wear a mask in public places.
Well, let me tell you about Poland.
Okay.
I think it was like, it started in March in Poland. They've closed all the borders. Only citizens could return, and when they returned, they were quarantined for 14 days. And then there were more and more restrictions. For example, limited amount of people in the shops. We all had to wear masks, even in public. And the most stupid thing they did was to close down the forests. You couldn't go to forest. So it was pretty crazy. You could go to a shop, you could go to a grocery store wearing those masks. You had to wash your hands with this this stuff. I don't know how you call this stuff. So it's antibacterial or something like that. It's in every store right now. And people went crazy. We are all gonna die. So they were wearing those masks. They were wearing those masks running. They were wearing those masks even riding their bikes and things like that. Now it's coming back to normal. For example, I don't wear this crap. When someone asks me about it, I tell I have lungs problem. I cannot breathe in this mask. So
yeah, it's so hard to breathe. Well, I'm glad to hear that things in Poland are returning back to normal because things, I mean, I know, like I grew up in Texas. I'm from Dallas originally. I know in Texas, they've lifted their orders, so things are returning to normal there. But in California, they're not lifting their orders. It's still, everybody's wearing a mask. I mean, I'm in disbelief. I'm like in the grocery store with a mask on. I can't breathe. I just can't wait to go into public places where I don't have to wear a mask and I do miss eating out, but I'm not going to eat out now because I don't want to have to stand in these long social distancing lines only to get some food to sit at a table and wear a mask. I mean, it's stupid, well, in my opinion.
I think in Poland it's pretty stable, but there is one region of Poland where we have a lot of coal mines, and all those coal mines bought a lot of COVID-19 tests. And then they started testing and testing and testing, and it looked like apocalypse. But then I look at those stats and I say, you did a lot of tests, so you have a lot of sick people, but it's not like some Armageddon or things like that. No, it's not that serious. Now we know it's not. I don't think it's more dangerous than the flu. Yeah,
I mean, the thing is this. Like, I've also noticed. So someone I'm close with had a very bad cough recently, and everybody was, immediately it was like not just a cough, it was, you have coronavirus. You're coughing, so you have coronavirus, you need to get tested. And he refused. He said, I don't have coronavirus, I am not getting tested. And I've spent a lot of time around him, so it's like, I'm healthy, I didn't even get a cough. So like, I think people that even have a cough, a slight cough, are immediately getting tested. And that's what's clogging up the system. Everybody with a cough or a sneeze or an ache, I have coronavirus. So here in California, a friend of mine recently went to go get tested for coronavirus. And she said the lines were so long. But I did want to tell you, Mike, because actually this is an article I'm working on now. Have you heard of Civic Technologies? They have the Civic wallet. Have you heard of them at all?
Yes, of course.
Okay, cool. So I'm actually writing about them. The article should be up in a few days. Did you hear about their new, I don't know if you read the Forbes article from Michael Castillo about what they're doing with this proof of health with medical, Circle Medical in San Francisco?
To be honest, I haven't.
Okay, so I'll just tell you because we're talking about coronavirus. Basically, it's really interesting what the world of blockchain and crypto can do for coronavirus, because wallets like the Civic wallet, which it uses facial recognition to access your funds. So you don't need a password, a seed phrase, or anything like that. You just, do the facial recognition. They also store health data in their wallet, along with cryptocurrency that can be used and stored in the wallet. Your health data is also there. So now they're doing this proof of health with this company, with a hospital in San Francisco called Circle Medical, where people can prove, because they have their data stored on the wallet, to their employers that they've either had coronavirus, now they're immune, or that once the vaccination comes out that they've received the vaccination. And this is all made possible through the Civic wallet and blockchain technology. So this is really, really cool, because now it just gives people peace of mind. Like, I can go back to work, I've been tested, or I have the vaccine eventually, and they're even thinking of, having it for like concerts. And so people can just go back and live their life with the peace of mind that it's okay. So.
Yeah, I think one of the best applications for blockchain is medical data. Blockchain can store all those medical data, not only supply chain solutions, but also medical data and all those other solutions. So I think for now we can say that maybe it's ending a little bit. And one more thing about this COVID thing, we are coming back to normal because more and more people find out that they were sick, and they were sick like last year. My friend was very sick. He had all coronavirus symptoms, and it was December 2019. He had high fever. He had all those breathing problems. He went to a doctor, and doctor told me, it's some weird infection. You have to take some antibiotics, and you can go home. And now he would be quarantined, and so I think it's much older than we all think.
Yeah, well, I think you make a good point. I agree with you. I just think it just kind of blew up, and now the world has come to this weird, strange, not end, but it's just like, I travel all the time, and I've been in the Bay Area for, I don't know, a few months now, and I'm like ready to just get up and go to London or Tel Aviv, where I like to spend the summer. And I can't. It sucks.
Yeah, people need to check the data, because I think it was 2008 or maybe 2018. It was something like bird flu or swine flu or some kind of that, and around 1 million people died around the world. So where is COVID now? I don't believe in this whole thing. I think it's all cover up for this financial crisis, but we will find out someday. All right, you've mentioned crypto conferences, crypto meetups. So do you have special ones? Do you like some more than the other? Any crypto conferences that you can recommend?
Yeah, well, I mean, the last in-person conference I went to was in March, and it was the Hyperledger Global Forum, which was really, really great because, as you know, I'm all about enterprise blockchain. So obviously Hyperledger Global Forum was definitely a really good conference for me. So I'm sure they're going to have one. They have one every year. They'll have one next year. So if people who are interested in the enterprise side of things, I'd recommend going to the Hyperledger conference. What else? CoinTelegraph has a conference. Block Show, I think is what it's still called. I went to that conference before I was writing for CoinTelegraph. I think in 2018 or 2017. Consensus, obviously, that's a really good one. One of my favorites. And there's a lot of online conferences now. I know that there's some blockchain gaming conferences going on right now. So those are always interesting. I know that IOHK and Cardano are about to do a conference. They've asked me to moderate a panel. So although it's virtual, they're still happening. Bad Crypto just had this amazing blockchain week online. I don't know if you were there, Mike, or saw it, but I mean, that was amazing. They had the top speakers there.
Yeah, I have seen it.
Yeah, yeah. So,
well, we have lost really great conference in Poland this year because of this COVID thing.
no.
It's called InvestCAFs, and it's not only crypto. Crypto is like an addition to this conference. It's investments conference in Krakow, Poland. And I invited some great speakers like Jessica Walker from Marta Blockchain Summit and some other ladies. And I was going to host a discussion panel called High Heels of Bitcoin. I did it last year, and I was going to repeat it, but this time in English. But then COVID came and we couldn't do it. So I think we will do it next year. So,
well, if you do it next year, I would love to be a part of it because,
sure.
First of all, it would be great to meet you in person. And I actually have, my grandmother was born in Poland. Wow. So I have Polish heritage and I've never been. So I think going to Poland to meet you and to be at a conference would be the perfect excuse for me to go back and see my heritage also.
So feel invited. Sometimes I think half of the people in crypto have some Polish heritage or Polish roots because yeah. Loriana from Crypto Twitter is Polish. Then this, I don't remember, I think she's called Leah, not Leah. She's Leah from UK. She also, her great grandmother was Polish. So like so we have a lot of Poles around the world. So yeah. so feel invited. So I will definitely let you know when we will have another meeting. So
I can't wait. Good. Yeah. Poland's always been on my list of places to go. And so, yeah.
It's very nice. We have our own problems, but it's a very nice place. We live in peace.
That's good.
Yeah, so of course there are politics involved, and there are two major parties fighting each other over the power. So yeah, many different problems. Yeah. But I think we are pretty peaceful people. We are pretty traditional ones. So
right.
All right. Let's move to crypto Twitter. I would like to know, what do you think about crypto Twitter? Because for me, I think it's one of the best social media platforms in crypto. Because I can find a lot of stuff and very interesting people there, but sometimes it's very hard to find some information because there are those crypto Twitter wars between different people.
Right. Yeah. So my thoughts on crypto Twitter, I'm very active on Twitter, and because that's how I share my articles and my videos, and Twitter has been a great platform for me compared to the other platforms. Like LinkedIn is also good, except I recently started to do this TikTok thing and talk about Bitcoin there. And it's like my videos are getting no views on TikTok. I think it's because like it's just too new. Like nobody on TikTok cares about cryptocurrency yet. All they care about is like fitness and dogs, and which is cool. I love that. But anyways, back to crypto Twitter. Twitter really is a good platform for sharing the cryptocurrency and blockchain discussions. I do think that some discussions can get way too heated, and people can get a bit crazy and say rude and like mean things. Like I know the Steam Hive drama, I recently wrote about that. Yeah. And I don't know if you read that article, but I was like,
yes,
maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah, that was this article about this South Korean guy who was he was live tweeted by some people on Hive, or yes, it was this article. Yes, I remember now.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you use Hive? You do use Hive, right? Or
well,
what?
To be honest, I have too many social media accounts. Okay. I used to use Steam, but I don't use Hive. I don't have enough time because crypto is not my full-time job. I have normal job and it is my hobby, and I don't have enough time. So if you have some kind of time dilation field, just let me know.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's such a drama, and I was very hesitant to write that article because I didn't want people to think that I was taking a side. I'm not taking a side with Hive or Steam. I'm just a reporter. I don't take sides. I just tell those people's stories. So someone came to me, an anonymous source, who told me that a Hive user sent him death threats in a Concord channel, and they wanted me to tell his story and get the word out there. And I'm not saying Hive is bad or Steam is bad. Like, I'm just saying this is what I've been told. And I spoke with Dan of Hive, Dan Notestein. So I heard his side of the story. And so I'm trying to make each side equal, you know, and just show people, like, don't attack me on Twitter because I'm just the one reporting the story. I don't use Steam or Hive.
Yeah, but that's the worst choice, because if you don't take sides, one side will say that you are with the other side, and then the other side will say that you are with. So yeah, I know this because there are those two about this politics in Poland. There are two major parties, and I don't like either of them. I choose choose the third one, how do you call them? Conservative party in Poland, and I always have to explain that I don't love neither them nor them. So
yeah.
So
you've got to explain.
Yeah, and I think crypto community is the worst and the best thing in this space, because there are really great people in this space. I have met a lot of them in my life in person, and I have a lot of friends and a lot of great people, but there are also jerks. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, there are personalities in the space, I'm going to say. And some of those people have become my very close friends. And some of those people, I see them at conferences, and I'm just like, ooh, I don't want to talk to that person, because usually as a reporter, I get pitched, obviously, all the time. But it's like, at the end of the day, if I'm at a conference and I'm trying to, like, socialize, the last thing I want to do while I'm drinking, you know, like my vodka soda at a happy hour is hear about your company. It's like, don't tell me about that now. I'm having fun. I'm enjoying myself. This isn't work for me. When you pitch me, it becomes work, and then I kind of get turned off by you. So I think people need to know that, because I get it all the time.
Well, to be honest, I call all those bad people keyboard warriors. I even have some special section on my Discord server where I post all the screenshots about all those crazy comments, because I have my own YouTube channel, and basically it's my main social media platform. YouTube. I basically post YouTube videos every day, and there are of course some jerks that I have to delete those comments because they are pretty offensive. But there are some, I don't consider them funny. I would rather say crazy, but then I have something special. For example, someone says something stupid to me, and then I say, of course you're right. Congratulations, you have won this week's Keyboard Warrior reward. And I post this screenshot of this comment on my Discord server, and people laugh. So it shuts them down pretty effectively. All right, about this crypto quitter, some recommendations for my High Heels of Bitcoin show. So maybe you know some ladies you would like to recommend for my show.
Yeah, definitely. So there's another really great woman who's an editor at CoinTelegraph. I don't know if you've met her or spoken to her. Her name is Christina, and she's based in Italy. She'd be really good to have on. She is a very smart woman. I look up to her. She's, you know, there aren't many women journalists in the space, but Christina is another one that's really, really great. So you should talk to her if you can. You should have her on the show. Yeah, I will try to contact her. Yeah, I can intro you to Christina. Who else? I have a very good friend. Her name is Danny Brown Wolf. She works with Orbs. They're the company that's doing hybrid enterprise blockchain stuff. It's ORBS, Orbs. So she's great, very, very knowledgeable in terms of enterprise blockchain and the benefits between public and private blockchains for enterprises. So she's good, Danny. And then I have a friend, Sarah Austin. She's now working with Kava, the DeFi startup here in San Francisco. she's also an influencer. She's been in, she actually came with me in 2017 to that Bitcoin conference in Hong Kong. So she's kind of, you know, been a part of my journey as well. She'd be good to have on the show.
Cool.
Yeah.
So thank you for your recommendations.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Yeah. I always try. I think I have introduced this section of this interview like 5 interviews ago. I thought to myself, all right, maybe I should ask my interviewee to recommend some ladies. It will be much easier for me because sometimes I message someone on Twitter and there is no reply, and I have to wait. And then I ask my female friends, can you talk? Do you know this and this person? Yes, she is a very good friend of mine. Can you whisper some things about Mike trying to contact?
Yeah. Well, by the way, Mike, I just thought of 2 more amazing women that you should have on the show. I mean, they're really thought leaders. One is Caitlin Long.
I would love to have her on my show.
That's like an obvious, like Caitlin is, my God, talk about thought leader and expert and everything. Caitlin. So maybe I could make that introduction. She's not like a best friend or good friend, but I've met her in person more than a few times. And then Brittany Kaiser, who was the whistleblower for the Cambridge Analytica Facebook scandal. She's actually a good friend of mine. And she's doing a lot with like keeping data private, and blockchain is obviously all about that. So Brittany would be good too.
I would love to have her on my show. Yeah. You have some great recommendations. Thank you so much for this.
Yeah.
All right. So another question is not blockchain, Bitcoin, crypto connected. So what do you like to do when you are not in crypto space? There is this thing called blockchain and bikinis.
Yeah. Right. Well, yeah. So that's my Instagram.
Yeah.
And you know, it just like it made sense. So before moving to San Francisco, I was living in Tel Aviv in Israel for about 4 years. I have Israeli citizenship, and it was always kind of like my dream to live there. So I became addicted to the beach and fitness because I was always at the beach. I was always in a bathing suit. I was always working out. You know, that was really important to me. Just living in Tel Aviv, it's a beach place. You go around in your bathing suit all the time. So when I started writing about blockchain in 2017, I also had this bikini addiction and being on beaches and being at pools. So I was like, okay, blockchain and bikinis, it makes sense. Like have my Instagram, you know, have bikinis in it, but also educational in terms of the blockchain stuff. And I don't know, it has a nice ring to it. And it's just combining 2 of my passions. Like I don't think there's a lot of people in the blockchain or crypto space that are all about health and fitness and bikinis and beaches. And that's me. Like, you know, I think it makes me unique. So
yeah, and you're like a fitness addict, right?
Yeah, I work out basically every day. If I don't work out, I can't write my articles. Like that's what gets me going in the morning is a run or like, you know, doing some stretches, whatever. And then I'm able to sit down for 5 hours and write an article.
So don't you get some rude comments on Instagram or maybe some pictures?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is this, like, I have received, you know, like, blockchain and bikinis, why would you do that? Like, that's stupid, blah, blah, blah. Some people really like it. Like, the Bad Crypto podcast was all about it. Joel, the host of the Bad Crypto podcast, when he was saying that I could be a part of their team, he's like, oh, we should have your image as for your podcast image of you in a bikini. And I was like, okay, Joel, like that's a cool idea, but it may like also, you know, here I am interviewing people at IBM. I don't know if that's like the best choice. But yeah, I mean, I have received some criticism about it, but like the thing is this, like, I really don't care if people like it or dislike it. I enjoy it, and it's combining both of my passions, and that's all that really matters. Like, it's my Instagram account, so.
Yeah. And it's because you're a pretty confident person, and I think people who are insecure with themselves, then they will criticize you. Why would anyone have something to do with it? Because there are, for example, it's nothing bad.
Yeah.
You like bikinis. There are some blockchain ladies who do OnlyFans account and showing some nudity or even the worst things. So,
right. And yeah, and for me, it's just like I'm addicted to the beach and hot weather and that whole lifestyle. So it's like, why not?
Yeah, we have problem with hot weather in Poland these days because it's like, of course, you use those Fahrenheit, and I don't remember how to convert those. I think it's over 100 Fahrenheit. So,
oh my God.
So yeah, it's hot. It's hot. It's hot, but
is it like in the 40s Celsius?
Not 40, like 34, 35. So. 40 is like apocalypse for us, and basically I live in northeastern Poland, so it's a colder space. We used to have very strong winters, like minus 30 degrees, so maybe it's not Siberia, but yeah, there were strong winters, but last winter there was no winter in Poland, so
oh gosh.
And now it's very hot summer, so it's like it's very hot during the day, and there is the thunderstorm and rain in the evening, or maybe in the night, and there is the new day. So,
interesting.
Yeah, last 3 or 4 days were like this: hot day, then thunderstorm, then rain, and then the night.
Oh wow! That's
all right,
crazy.
My last question for you is: what are your plans for the future? What would you like to do? Where do you see yourself in like 5 years?
Yeah, well, that's an interesting question right now because I've been thinking about it a lot. And I actually tweeted this the other day. I would really love to teach blockchain and cryptocurrency at universities. I've always had this thing, like even when I finished my undergrad at UT Austin, I always wanted to be a teacher, and I've always considered getting a PhD in English and, you know, being an English teacher at a university, an English professor. And now that I'm so involved with the blockchain and crypto space, it just makes sense that I would go and teach at a university in the future. And I do have plans to write. Oops, sorry, that's my phone. I do have plans to write a book. And I think that just, you know, being a professor and writing a book just makes sense. So I do hope maybe in the next year to start lecturing at universities, maybe being a teacher's assistant. So those are my plans, and then to eventually finish the book.
Great. I will wait for your book.
Thanks. Well, it's going to take a while. It's a work in progress, but it is on my to-do list. So
I know it takes a lot of time to write a book and then publish it. It takes time, but teaching is great. I think we all need education. This space needs education. There are a lot of scams, a lot of frauds in this space, and people need to educate themselves. People need... Okay.
Sorry. All of my devices are going off. I apologize.
No problem. So yeah, and I think it was my last interview with Catalina. She teaches at University of Nicosia. She's from Argentina, so yeah, she told me about this. Yeah, I think we will see more and more cryptocurrency related courses on universities and other things. So yeah, definitely go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, that's all basically. I have no more questions. Thank you so much for your time. It's been really great. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. And just if your listeners or audience wants to learn more about me, follow me on Twitter at Rachel Wolf00.
I will, of course, include your social media profiles in the video description, so people will definitely check it out. So make sure you follow Rachel on Twitter and also on Instagram.
Definitely.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thanks, Mike.